Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Rihanna.
Hello!
And our tired doggies who are just not feeling it right now because it's real hot up here. That is one good thing, probably, about the summer. Maybe Luna will be a little less...
No, she will continue to go, nyar.
Is that a Luna claw, or is that a peanut claw?
Let me see. I think that's a peanut claw.
Peanut saying hello to us.
Aww.
That's sad but cute.
Yeah. There's a little tiny claw in the blanket that he's laying on. No, that was just... threw me off my game.
I know, me too. Hi! Anyway, today's episode, before we went to the convention, we had a little bit to talk about, and now after the convention, we want to talk about our experience a little bit. So we have some pictures to show off, and we'll be talking about our time at Fan Expo, and you know, discovering what went right, what went wrong, what we're going to change for next time, and discussing potentially what's next for us as we choose other live events that we're going to be going to.
So this is, I thought it necessary to show the before picture of like what the table looks like when we get there. It's just a blank table.
Right. So
and then,
you and me and Matt all got there together
yeah.
In two different vehicles, right?
We rented
we rented an SUV and stuffed as much stuff as we could into there and into Matt's Jeep, and then we kind of got our stuff out as quick as we could, and basically said, we're going to leave you here, Rihanna, because we have to get the SUV back to the car rental place,
right.
And then pack up the rest of the stuff that we can fit into my car for round two.
But I was perfectly happy with that because I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I know that like
there's a
correct way to do things.
Now, I will say this. It was to good measure because you ended up doing... Come on. Hello! Very nice setup by the time we got back. There wasn't too much more that we had to do.
I fixed that crookedness eventually.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even notice it. That's how little I pay attention. So Rihanna did a very nice job with things. We ended up getting back maybe, two hours later or something like that?
Yeah, about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. But it took that long to be able to set everything up.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice in the back of the wand display, there's a bookshelf there. I bought it specifically for the event. It's a pop-up, like, no assembly bookshelf. It was heavy, but it really was a game changer for our backs because we didn't have to go under the table to switch things out.
Yeah, if we did need to go into the boxes, it was just to replenish the bookshelf, not to immediately go, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Right.
Where is this book that I need for this person?
That was a change that we made from the previous
PhilCon, I guess it was.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a constant at our conventions to go forward because it is a really nice setup. It can fit in my car if the seat's down, which doesn't help us in most cases. But hey, we don't need you chiming in. But I think going forward, at least on day one and possibly the final day of all these conventions, what we're going to do from now on is do the SUV rental.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. I mean, it wasn't that expensive of a thing. Oh, shut that door.
You're going to shut that door? It's going to get so stuffy hot in here.
Well, we'll open it when they start worrying.
Got to move that thing on the floor first. I'm a little bit of a control freak.
What? Me? You?
We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but the Fan Expo is tough because it's in the heart of Philadelphia. You know, like, the parking situation is not fun. Rihanna's getting good at driving, but she's a little bit nervous when it comes to, like, city driving and stuff like that.
It doesn't matter if I'm good at it or not. I have anxiety, and driving in the city is not good for anxious people. There's too many, like, pedestrians that can pop out of nowhere and, tight alleys and one-way streets. That
nerdy Kev said, Gerard said hit him up instead of renting. So... Gerard was there with us on day 2, Saturday, just hanging out with us and making sure that our other buddies had, a friend that they knew and everything, because we also had Dave from work, and everyone knows that Nerdy Kev has been a big Tellest help for a long time.
And we were there with Nerdy Kev.
It's true. Nerdy Kev was there too. We don't have any pictures of him to show off, but
we don't. That was mean.
we were so structured into our own zone.
We didn't take a lot of pictures of ourselves either. It was only like
we do have a couple that we had to show off.
Yeah.
But that was usually like when my mom was there to help us take the
or,
pictures and
or
stuff.
Or it was very, very early before things began, and even then we were scrambling because those wands we don't leave up at the end of the day. I take home the most expensive ones, and everything else I just put down on the table so that it's not.
Kev's got what looks to be, to the best of my knowledge, a cinnamon stick that's running away crying. Well, to that Kev I say, whoopsie. Kev, if you do have any pictures of your setup, send it over and we'll show that off on the stream as well.
Yeah.
Luna is out there going, "Why did you leave me?"
Don't shut the door.
Hi, Luna. How you doing? So we mentioned Gerard. Gerard has experience with car dealerships and stuff like that. So he's probably got some ins and stuff.
All
so
right.
that'd help a lot. We'll talk a little bit more about it later, but the other conventions that we're going to are a lot friendlier for you to drive to. So we could take two cars.
Yeah.
I still think that we would take the SUV, but we would have another car just in case as well.
And I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't mind driving literally anywhere but the city.
No. Here's another angle of our setup. We ended up getting there with 2 tables, and we kind of lucked out, and this is the second time in a row that we've been at the Philadelphia Convention Center for a convention that the person next to us
just didn't show up or left.
So we were lucky because the person who was next to us in the spot that we eventually encroached upon, she found a better spot somewhere else because someone was offering her a second table. And the person who was one table further away, she was like, "My setup is perfect the way it is. You guys can use that spot if you want." So we ended up moving over to a third table.
You can kind of see over there. They have the battle maps and stuff over.
Yep. So we had... we kind of separated it into the wands being like the corner, like the feature spot. And then we had... you know what? Kev said that he sent it to me via email. So let's see what we can do. Fill in some time, Rihanna.
Alright, so I will draw your attention to the big banner of posters in the back there. That is a new addition to the Tellest setup. We had posters in recent years, but I don't think we had like the bulk of the art that we do now, and certainly didn't have a good way to display it. So that's actually a big felt backdrop where we took like adhesive Velcro strips and put it on like a cardboard backing or poster board backing, and I painstakingly arranged them in a way that I felt was emblematic of what our most popular art is and what's like the most eye-catching. And we're hoping to make that taller next year. I'm just short and was in charge of setting it up. And if it was tall, there would be no way for me to actually reach the top of it. So, I don't trust myself to stand on things because I'm clumsy.
And ta-da.
Ta-da, I filled this place.
So I'm going to try and see if I can fit Kev's stuff into like a couple of minutes from now. I don't know if it's going to work because they weren't your regular image files. They were PBT files. So we'll try it out. But in any case, what I was going to say before Kev so rudely interrupted me, by request,
by our request, he rudely acquiesced.
We had the table set up with Rihanna's table being like the feature table on the corner. We wanted the folks who were stopping by to be drawn to that first. My table, the Tellest table with the books, I said I requested. Going forward, I think that is going to be like the long distance draw because we're going to have all the posters, like you said, lifted a little bit higher. We'll have the prices real big on the top that say, like you can get stuff real cheap here.
Yeah.
And people were like, when they found out that they were that cheap, they were excited about it.
Yeah.
It was just that they weren't readily available.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we're going to work on going forward is the organization of the posters as well as just better signage overall, just to let people know the cost of things, because it's not. I mean, the wands are expensive because they have to be. Like, they're handcrafted,
Right.
like, the materials, like, all of it. It's just, like, I literally, at the end of it, was saying, like, I can't go less than $50 or else I'm losing money. Like,
Right.
the box itself and all of the stuff for it is, like,
And it hurts your
$10
feelings.
at least, and then it hurts my feelings. And, you know, and I'll get emotional and I'll cry. So... But the books, the posters, all that's extremely affordable.
Right. The posters are a wonderful ROI, and as we discovered after Friday, we brought the battle maps, which were kind of like the main focus of Table 3, just to show off for digital and everything. Like we were thinking, hey, people will like to look at this and then maybe go to Drive-Thru RPG, maybe Patreon, that kind of stuff. And someone literally came up to me and called me an idiot for not selling them at the convention.
You're an idiot,
and told us a price that really, to me, felt a little too much. He said that we could get away with selling them between $60 and $100. And maybe we'll play with those prices a little bit like the next convention we do, because we'll have a lot more inventory to play with.
It's just one of those, like, high risk kind of things,
Right.
because you don't know if you're going to sell all that inventory, and they cost, like, a substantial amount. And also, to clarify, there's the term ROI for our posters. You would have to sell the posters like 100 times over for like 10 years to recoup the actual cost of all the art.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. The posters themselves are relatively affordable for me,
but
the art that I paid to do everything,
right?
Yeah, very good point.
Just to clarify, that's not us making money. It's us making money back in like little tiny increments.
Right. So here you can see a little bit more of Rihanna's wands and how she set everything up. She had a kind of structure at first where it was like, all right, these ones are just being placed in whatever order because they look nice in that order, and then by the last day we had rearranged it so that things were grouped by price. Yeah,
it was more like, this is the ones closer to me in the back were the ones that were like the higher cost, unless it was like in the one magic wands piece over to the right.
Well, that's our left, but the camera's right.
The camera's right. So that one had like sort of fandom ones plus like the cute little ghost.
Yep, I ended up using the ghost at the
Ghostbusters panel. Uh-huh.
Did I end up using the frog at the?
I think so.
At the turtle one.
I think so. Yeah.
So we did 2 panels as well.
Oh no, wait, was it the frog or was it the? It was the other one, the blue one over in the corner somewhere. I don't know where it is in this picture.
Well,
probably not over there, but anyway. And then the ones on the other side are like the fairy-centric wands.
Yep.
Like little fairy huts.
And then these ones that frame the stand are the diamond level expensive ones. These are both Herkimer diamonds?
No. So the one on the right is Herkimer diamond with cubic zirconians. There's 10 cubic zirconians, one on a set on each side. And then the other one is just a beautiful, like, high-quality clear quartz with a rainbow in it. Gotcha. And it has 7 different stones for the 7 chakras.
That's right. So here's our last setup picture. This was we did not know yet that we were going to be able to use this table in its entirety, so we just kind of slightly crept over there, which is why you see the battle maps kind of draped the way that they were. And we actually ended up doing some work for noted Scientologist L. Ron Hubbard, Galaxy Printing Press. Does the Writers of the Future stuff, which is presented by L. Ron Hubbard, and it really has nothing to do with Scientology at this point, which is why I was okay to kind of...
Yeah, it was for Writers of the Future, but that didn't stop me from putting a bunch of Post-its that was like, please take, don't want.
I put the kibosh on some of that stuff.
I know.
It started getting like, get ye gone, away with thee. But people really liked the art. I mean, the poster was very nice to look at, like
much free, very
wow. So that was some good stuff.
That's us.
That's us. This is 2 of the creators that were that had our stuff on display. Matt is also one of the official creators now, because while he doesn't have a wand or a short story or anything, much to my chagrin, because I've asked him plenty of times to write something and I'll clean it up for him, he hasn't contributed in that way, but he's got at least I think 20% of the maps at this point, so he does contribute in that way. So that was it was nice that we got to do that third table and show off his stuff.
Wait, before you move on, I want to bring the attention to two things.
Yes.
One is how to be a wizard in the middle of our tables.
Yep.
We got to debut our children's book, and
yeah,
it went over really well.
We sold like 8 or 9 copies.
I think more than that, probably like closer to
13,
10 to 15.
And you know what? While we're talking about the stuff, let's talk about your wands, because you sold a decent amount of wands as well.
I did. I sold around 30. So I stopped.
I think it was at least 32.
It was. It was. I think I can comfortably say it was over 30. I don't think I noted everything down because there were times where it was like a little bit hectic. Like, I want this one. I'm actually gonna get this one as well. Like, which I love, not complaining about that at all, but it was like a really decent number of them to sell for the 3-day convention. Because I think when we went to PhilCon, the smaller one, much smaller convention, I ended up selling 10 wands over 2 days. So this was 30 plus wands over 3 days, 2.5 days technically.
It was a very
pretty good.
Yeah, it was very good. I feel like we would have sold more, but I feel like the fandom wasn't.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm definitely gonna do for next year is do more fandom specific ones.
No, I'm not talking about your fandom. I'm talking about the celebrities who were there.
Oh, yeah.
Did not really draw a huge number of people.
I get it.
When they sent the survey to me and said what do you think we could do better next year, I told them that the only thing that I really found that they might have been struggling with was how to get the right celebrities, because last year the big get was Joseph Quinn, and he's relatively new. I mean, not even relatively, he's very new. I mean, before Eddie Munson, the biggest role that he had was a 2-line character in Game of Thrones.
But this year they had Buggy, and he was cool.
They did have Buggy, but I
do think to your point, they didn't have enough time probably to for that to marinate with a huge fandom,
right?
Because One Piece just came out recently,
yeah,
and Avatar came out recently, and fun moment during our convention, some of the cast members walked right by our table.
Right,
that
it would have
really
been nice
cool.
if we had a wand to show them.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was busy with a new job being an adult. Thank you.
So Kev did mention in the comments, I have his pictures up on the other monitor right now, so we can't see them at the same time. But he did say that it was neat AF seeing your Weird Witch wand boxes out in the wild, because people were buying them and then moving around the rest of the convention floor, and then he would go and see them.
Oh, that's cool. So, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it was pretty cool.
Good looking out.
I am going to real quick go to our sponsor, because otherwise I'll forget, and we're already 20 minutes into the episode. So let's head over to the sponsor page, and then we'll be back, and then we'll look at some of Kev's stuff, and then circle back to the rest of our stuff.
Got it.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This is your adult content advisory for today's sponsor. AC Greenlee has made a name for themselves in the steamy paranormal fantasy sphere, where they focus on interracial relationships that are fresh and interesting, twisting away from what feels stereotypical or tropey. But, more importantly, the stories that they tell are rich and engaging, and would suffice even without the sex-heavy moments you can find interspersed in their stories. They continued that streak in their latest, Stalked, which puts a spin on werewolves, but takes the romance that fans of shifter fantasies have grown to love and keeps it hot and heavy. Stalked is filled with great story beats, world building that is immersive, and characters who are deep and engaging. If that sounds like it would get your blood pumping, get ready to find out more. Check out our promo for Stalked, AC Greenlee's fantastic new paranormal erotic fantasy, on the Tellest website today. Alrighty, so we are back. We're going to pop up our email real quick. Let me see. Can I pop that out even more? Nope. That's messy. All right, let's just do it like this. So right now you can see the setup that Kev had for his creative stage area. Creative what?
Zoom it in.
Zoom it in. I like how you just did like your own little magic wand finger thing.
Because there's a slider there for zooming, so I did zoom in.
Zoom in. You got to do the pinch. All right.
I'm not hip to the...
I'm an elder millennial.
I'm not hip to the youngsters' way of doing it.
Kev has corrected me. It is called the community zone. I think last year we were like right in front of the creative stage. But this was the community zone, so you can see. Yeah, Kev definitely highlighted a couple of our things. So we have Quantum Quest is back there as well. I think at one point one of the books was up here as well. And not only is the wand box there, but you can see that is a very specific wand because Kev got one of your wands before. So we'll actually see that in another picture. But here is the man himself posing in front of his table, looking all proud. And then he took some pictures for us.
Oh, that was such a cool costume.
Yep.
I loved it. Autolycus and Xena.
Kev mentioned at the show, like, this is like a 1 in a million because, like, Autolycus is such, like, a
niche character. Yeah.
So to have both of these cosplays at the same time at the show. And one of the things that we talked about doing at the show, and you'll see that more in pictures later, was taking ideas from people, like, as they were walking by.
Right.
We have, like, a big...
inspiration.
Yep. We have a notebook where we were, like, jotting down, like, oh, that's a fandom that we need to represent. That's a fandom that we need to represent, those kind of things.
Definitely be doing some Xena wands, some Pokemon wands, some...
Avatar.
One
Piece.
What was the one? The purple with the red thing on it, you said? Like the girl with the purple raven something?
Purple with the red?
It was like a purple outfit with like a red diamond or something.
Are we talking about...
Star something?
Starfire from Teen Titans?
Yeah, that one.
Or Titans?
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yep. We've got a shot of Kev on one of his panels. I was on 2 of his other panels.
Yeah.
His buddy, our mutual friend Garrett is there as well, so shout out to Garrett. We got someone posing with the Scream wand, and this is your first time.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
We did not see Ghostface walking around.
Oh my god, I love it.
So that was really cool that Kev got to take that
Kev.
shot for you.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, that brings me such joy.
I think there's 1 or 2 more here. Oh, there we go. Here's me posing with the ghost wand at the end of the Ghostbusters panel.
With show off your shirt to the people because it's cute.
So we didn't get this for this show. We got it for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal last year, and it's a bunch of
the Scream,
Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers hunting Pac-Man as the Pac-Man ghosts. So yeah, that was fun, and it just worked out perfectly for Ghostbusters.
It really did.
Kev doing another pose, and that's the pictures that he gave me. So thank you for sharing, Kev. I'm glad that I could include you in the Talking Tellest for today.
Yeah, thank you, and definitely thank you for that photo with the Scream and the guy. I didn't know that happened. That's awesome.
So moving on. We got another picture of Rhiannon and I posing. So the trick to a happy marriage is the guy has to pose closer to the camera.
So his head looks bigger. I genuinely have a larger cranium than he does, and I always look like a freaking monster if I'm closer to the camera. But also, notice my wand in my hat.
It's a very pretty wand in your hat. It's structurally sound.
It is
works
very
out really
structurally
well.
sound. I made it so that, like, because I was imagining if I were a wizard, I wouldn't want to have, like, a wand on, like, a holster, like a sword, and I wouldn't want to put it on my sleeve because, like, it's annoying mobility, but, like, kind of having it like a pencil behind your ear, but on your hat, you can whip it out. It's cool.
Kev did mention also he stopped talking to folks in order to grab the picture with that ghost face. So,
I appreciate it very much. Brought me infinite joy.
Here's another one with the witch herself posing with the most expensive wand. So we got another one.
Yeah.
Do you know, was it me taking the pictures?
It was you taking the pictures, and this was the outfit I was wearing when some random lady in the bathroom said I looked beautiful and she loved my outfit, and that just made my whole day.
That's wonderful!
I was like, no.
I thought that before this this video that we're recording right now that I was going to be okay, but I'm sweating.
Yeah, you gotta take another shower.
I won't be stinky.
Gross man.
I was not stinky there because
No.
that was the second day, and upon the second day, Was it the second day? I think it was.
Yeah, it was the second day.
Upon the second day, I didn't have to do much heavy lifting. So
Right. It was just attending.
Yep.
Because it's the longest day. I think if we had to also do stuff, it would have been too much.
You got to represent nerddom. So we did the periodic table of marble. So we've got a cute little thing that I just use as pajamas.
It's true. I bought it for him specifically for like this purpose. Like he's not
I'm not a graphic tee person.
Yeah, you're not a graphic tee person, but you will wear them for bedtime, like for lounging around the house and stuff.
Yep.
And I think that's a really cute one to have worn
Yep.
for this show.
Yes, indeed. I should have worn my my Rizzard shirt.
Oh, I forgot about the
Yeah.
Wizard shirt.
That would have went over really well.
It would, yeah. Well, next time.
I think at
Next
this
event.
point you can see like we had already started to move on to that third table because
Right.
halfway through the day it was like, all right, nobody's going to take this table.
Yeah, we might as well shift it over and
Yep.
give people more space to play with. But
Yep.
look at all those new book offerings. We got the 100 fantasy writing prompts actually sold a few copies.
Yeah, that sold a decent amount.
Yeah,
I think in tandem,
over
like when
well.
people realized that it was with like, hey, they also have maps.
Right.
They realized that it could be a D&D tool. We
Exactly.
had quite a few people who were like, I need this kind of stuff for like my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. Ancestral Magic Trilogy is new, as well as Wild Magic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. And I think at the time, we don't have it on this picture, but we did not have the second Tales of Tellest either. So
Right.
we do have that. Now, excuse me 1 second. So we kind of didn't, because we still have the L. Ron Hubbard stuff on the table, we didn't make use entirely of this table. What we could do going forward is spread this out a little bit further so that the magazine, or excuse me, the portfolio for the art is on the other table.
Yeah.
This spreads out, and that way we have room for the other books.
Yeah.
Because we definitely do want to have as much as we can, but you'll notice there's a conspicuous amount of absences on here because we didn't have Stealing Saramore. We didn't have Tinker's Tale or D. April's Fools.
Yeah, that's the big one that was missing.
Yeah, and then we did have Tales of Tellest Volume 2, but it was on the bookshelf, not on here.
Right.
And,
And it was just a pressed for space kind of a situation, but
Yep.
we'll do better next time.
Yep. One other thing that you'll notice is we have the
Ah.
the Quantum
too
Quest
fast.
novelization. So that was nice. We tried to, at the start of this event, consider trying to get people to play the Quantum Quest reinforcements. We currently have a Kickstarter out running for that, but I have done absolutely nothing to promote it because it started off so badly because we spent all of our time working on the convention.
Yeah.
And we didn't have like the helpers that we thought we were going to have this year.
Theoretically, it was good timing, but in practice, it was just too much
Yep.
for too little bandwidth.
Yep. So I'm kind of letting the Kickstarter wither on the vine, so to speak. And
Try again.
yeah. I mean, there's no reason that I can't try again. Whether that means we tweak anything or I just try and drive up attention or focus or anything beforehand or afterwards is anybody's guess. But next week we're going to have like our first previews for like the third game on the Patreon. So, yay!
Woo!
So, yeah. Let's see. So now we are into the part of our picture setup where we took pictures of people posing with the wands.
When their outfits matched the wand vibe or
Yep.
the fandom,
Yep.
and I absolutely this was such a fun way to get people engaged, and also just leave me with a little souvenir of like a cute memory. Like that wand that she's holding right there is the Super Mario wand. It sold to someone else, but I'll forever have this picture of Mario and Peach holding the
And
Mario wand.
everybody seemed not
Annoyed
by it. They
Yeah.
were excited, I get to pose with this piece as well.
Yeah,
So
it was super cute, and
Yep.
it wasn't I wasn't trying to entice people to buy or anything. I just thought it would be cute. That she's a mushroom, so I had a mushroom wand. I thought that would be cute, and look at the happy face.
yeah, there's not one person who, and I mean, obviously they're posing for camera and everything,
Right.
but I felt like it was a nice idea for.
Yeah, it was fun. It was interactive, and shout out to this lady who was the frog from Thumbelina. Thumbelina was a huge part of my childhood, and I freaking love this
Yep.
cosplay. She did such a good job.
Kev said cosplayers almost will never say no to a picture.
Yeah, and I mean, they're getting all dressed up. Why not pose? But I love that it matched. I started getting excited in, like, the downtime that we had trying to spot outfits that would match a wand. Like, it was just a fun thing to do.
Yep.
That's Navi with a Master Sword-esque wand.
Kev also said, I have ideas for that closer to PAX U.
Nice.
But I don't know what he's talking about, because we moved too quick, and then I didn't loop back around for that in time. So
wands?
I have ideas for that closer to PAX U. I mean, he and I were talking about. Oh, he's talking about Quantum Quest.
Oh, okay. Right.
Because.
Well, that's a good space for it.
Right. And he and I were talking about doing Blunders and Bravado there.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of the battle maps and stuff like that.
Plus, we're gonna do. I have a couple of D&D wands that I've done at least one in the past, and I have more materials to do more, so I'll be sending him with them and maybe some other, like, gaming inspired.
Yep, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move around.
Right. That's my mother-in-law.
Yep, that is Mama Tellest.
She's tiny.
Yeah. So my mom has never been to a convention, I don't think, at all, let alone a Comic Con.
Right.
So she came there to support us, to see all of Rihanna's magic wands in their element and everything. And she sat with us for like half the day.
It's true.
It was very nice to have my mom there, and she very much helped. She talked up your stuff like when you were in the bathroom and stuff.
It was super cute.
She very much like knew the assignment.
Yep.
So I was very grateful to have her there.
I tell her all the time. A lot of people don't like their mother-in-laws. I like my mother-in-law.
Yeah, I like
She's
mine
nice.
too. We really lucked out.
Yep, we have a good little family.
Yep. There's all of us posing together, and there's Matt with the only picture that we have of him.
I know. Well, I have a picture of that random dude who kind of looked like him.
That's very funny too. We found his doppelganger in the.
But not up close. It's just he was standing like off to the side, and he had the same look that Matt does. He had the same stance. He was looking at his phone the same way. His outfit was the same, and
like they met each other later that day.
Yeah, and like out the corner of my eye, I thought for sure it was my brother-in-law. There was not a doubt in my mind, and then he got up close, and I was like, "You're not Matt."
So I don't have this video or anything here, and I probably wouldn't put it on because there's a little bit of profanity. When Matt and I were closing up at the end of the night, there was a lot of moving stuff around. So the Philadelphia Convention Center is great to load into because you can load in right at the loading dock. But the convention is the convention hall is ginormous. The building is like many blocks large.
Right.
And trying to get there without the loading dock is a huge challenge. And the problem is when they broke down the the convention at the end of the weekend, their whole thing was, let's get the celebrities out first. And we have to break down the celebrity area in order to let people drive on to the floor.
And they were literally at the point where they're, I guess it was pre-planned, but they were passing out, like, passes, basically, for you to be able to drive in, and the wait was, like, 3.5 hours or something before you could even have the opportunity to do that.
Right. We ended up, I think, by the time we got everything done, it was about 2 hours. Or at least by the time we got to see the first car on the floor, it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
So Matt and I, what we first did was we got our cars out of the lot, which was far from where we wanted to go because, they decided to do the Broad Street run the same weekend. So our regular garage was inaccessible. Otherwise, we would have just taken our time with it, and we would have walked it.
Exactly.
But what we ended up having to do was we got to the new, we left our first garage, went in line to try and see if we could do the loading thing, and realized we were 3 blocks away and the line was not moving. Said, forget this, we're going to go around, try and get into our other parking lot or double park or something. And we hatched the plan. Nobody else can steal this, by the way. This is our plan.
TM.
It's trademarked. It's copyrighted. It's patented. We ended up going to the lot that we always go to, which is above a Trader Joe's. And they will validate your parking if you buy something at Trader Joe's. I love Scandinavian swimmers, so I was going to do Trader Joe's anyway. But the whole idea was we then had to get everything done in that 60-minute time period.
Right. Which didn't end up happening. We were 5 minutes late or something.
Yeah, we didn't get it. Luckily, the guy who helped Matt was like, you were 3 minutes late, you got this.
Yeah.
And let him through.
Right.
But it was everything that could go wrong did.
Yeah,
Like-
it was a little chaotic and definitely stressful because we were we were exhausted already at that point, and
Yep.
mentally and physically, and it was just a lot.
Yep.
But I think that we're hopefully a lot of those conditions that we said will not be the case in coming years, and we'll kind of work on our breakdown a little bit better.
And we'll talk about that in a moment. But I did want to mention the first round that Matt and I went to the cars after we drove them into the new lot. We were working so hard and so fast and everything that when we got up to our parking level and started to load everything up, I have a video of steam rising from Matt's bald head. And he's like, "This happens all the time, Mike. I don't know." And I was like, "Yes, but do you ever have it on camera?" And then when we came back up, we didn't want to have to do a third run.
Right.
So
Just
we
load it all up.
And the bookshelf, as great as it is not great for travel when you're not loading it directly into a vehicle.
Yeah.
So we had that on top of things, and then we had the treasure chest underneath. And as we're going, the treasure chest kind of goes bloop.
Yep.
And you had to pick everything up and move it all back
I know.
together and everything.
The treasure chest, by the way, had little crystal bundles that I put together, and they're my mom helped me put them together, but it was just the crystals that didn't end up making it in wands.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, a nice selection of stuff. A few people ended up purchasing them because I made it like a fair price, and it got us some small bills at the end of the day because they were $5 a piece. So.
You and I, we always get a little grumbly at these things,
Oh,
but it
definitely.
wasn't like a big fight or anything like that. And we didn't have so thus far the only time that we've ever had a don't talk to each other night was the very first convention that we did.
Right.
And it wasn't like a fight; it was we're so exhausted.
We just
did
didn't
not
talk.
expect this.
We just didn't speak to each other the entire time because we're introverts. We're not. We don't get energy from talking to people. We expend it.
Expand
Sponge
energy.
it.
Our battery drains.
Go back to that one. Yeah, that's it. That's good.
This will be our stationary one
Yeah,
while we
that's a
talk
good
about
one.
the rest of the stuff.
So I did want to also mention that one of the goals for next convention, this time next year, is I want a banner like Tellest.
Oh yeah, we'll have a retractable.
Yeah, I have a design for it. We just have to get someone to put it together digitally.
Yep.
I think that'll look really nice side by side, especially framing the poster setup.
With the posters towering 4 feet higher.
Yeah, I think that'll look really well. Maybe not that high, but somewhat higher.
Yeah.
I think that'll look really nice. And then a couple of other things that we were talking about is just trying to put the prep time in to streamline the actual packing process, what we're actually bringing and the inventory that we're bringing. The posters, we're gonna have them in one easy flip kind of box instead of multiple boxes.
Right.
But
again, trying to consolidate the amount
Yeah.
of things that we bring.
Right.
And I don't think we won't bring the boxes at all anymore because as far as the posters go.
Right.
Because one
It's
of the
just too
things that I was worried
cumbersome.
about was how sturdy things were going to be, and putting all the posters together in one little screen thing
Right.
each makes it sturdy.
Right.
I was worried that didn't make sense, but it makes so much sense doing it that way.
And
So,
you fought me on it, sir.
I did. I
You
didn't
did.
understand the logic.
Yeah, but then the execution made much more sense than the trying to explain it verbally. Another big thing that we're going to do next year is have a specific checkout area. We don't have that currently, and there's a lot of do this, do that, grab me this, grab me that in all different areas, and having more of a stationary, oh okay, you're ready to check out, here's the stuff that you need. We're going to have the bags here, we're going to have the iPad here, the the cash box, all of our stuff in one spot, I think will make things a lot easier for us. Because even with this corner spot, I don't know that we'll have a corner spot next time, but I was able to utilize sort of the side space
Right.
as well.
Right.
So
So here's the nice thing. I've specifically asked them, hey, could we upgrade officially to 3 tables?
Yeah.
There's no way that we don't get a corner table if we get 3 tables next
right,
time.
which would be really nice.
No, so
I would love that, and eventually I'd love to explore the booth idea
Yeah.
if it makes sense.
Well, and we'll definitely look at the booth at some point because Kev and I are going to be doing. Well, here, are we wrapped up as far as talking about what changes we would make to the setups, or?
I want to bring a specific cooler with snacks for next time.
You don't want the little bag that we had? We want a cooler?
No, I want a cooler. I want to feel cooler. And then whatever else you're gonna say, I just want to interject. Upcoming events that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
for next year. So one of the things we're doing is next weekend we're going to the New Jersey Gem and Mineral Show, just as spectators, just to see like what kind of stuff that they have available and if it would be possible to be vendors in the next year.
So Matt came through and he said, "Hello there. That picture looks nice. Where were you?" Not being here for 40 minutes makes him come out of nowhere. But at the very least, we can say that we were there with that guy.
There you are.
So, we were talking about the leaving situation, Matt, and the steam coming off your head, figuratively and literally.
And then
All good stuff. And then
the other thing was the Lehigh Valley small convention that somebody mentioned.
We had, I think, 2 people mentioned it throughout the weekend.
Right.
That Lehigh Valley, which Kev and I go to once a month anyway, so we're familiar with the area. They do a convention 4 times a year, and one of them is their big one. Like, it's basically kind of like a craft fair for 3 weeks, or three times out of the year, and then the other one is their big one.
Right. And we're going to do, like, Weird Witch Wands is going to have a little bit of a presence at PAX Unplugged. And
Reginald von Borkson says, "Hey, that's my Faja in that picture with the flannel."
It's funny.
I'm guessing Jill is talking on behalf of
Reginald
von Borkson.
Oh my god, I love it. Reginald von Borkson.
So yes.
PAX Unplugged and PhilCon will be back at.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so PhilCon, Lehigh Valley Convention is $50 a table, which is the exciting draw for that.
Right.
Because if you sold one wand,
It
you'd
paid
get us
for the
back
table.
a table.
Yeah.
We're going to try, I think everywhere we go from now on, we're going to try for 3 tables. Because Fan Expo, I feel like we'll make our money back. PhilCon and Lehigh Valley, even if we don't, the price of the tables is not, like, earth-shattering if we don't make
It's
our
a
money
fancy
back.
dinner,
Right.
at the end of the day.
Right.
And I think that's just a one-day convention, right?
Lehigh Valley, yes.
Yeah, I think
PhilCon is all 3 days.
Which is fine.
Right.
I mean, this convention I think was particularly stressful because, as I mentioned, I just got a new job and it's it's demanding throughout my week, and I did not have the time or the bandwidth to be able to dedicate toward the craft, but
Right.
I hopefully will for next year.
There you go. So as Rihanna mentioned, we're going to do Lehigh Valley. I still have to order the tables for that one, and we want to go back to PhilCon. I have to order the tables for that one. But one of the things that Kev had mentioned earlier is PAX Unplugged, and you as well just mentioned it as well when you were talking about the wands and things like that. Matt just asked about when the dates are for these things. The Lehigh Valley one is in August. It's one day. It's a Saturday. And as I mentioned, they do it 4 times a year. So we're going to give that one the first try and see how it goes. And then we'll debate hey, are we going to do this once every 3 months if it's one day that we're sacrificing? Because if we sell 10 wands at this event, that's a nice, on average, $1,000 that we're adding to our bank account during those times. PAX Unplugged, I believe, is in December, and PhilCon is in November. I believe. Could be wrong.
PAX Unplugged, I thought it was September.
No.
No? December?
So PAX East might be September, I think.
Okay.
But I'm almost positive that PAX Unplugged is at the end of the year. Now,
Got
Kev
it.
is at dinner, so he's not able to confirm for me right now. But I'm 99% sure that that's what it is.
Got it.
PAX Unplugged is usually I like when they come up together.
I know, it's so funny. These little poochies.
So,
Yes, hi. Hi. Ow!
so I think PhilCon and Lehigh Valley, you and I will do together, most likely.
Yeah.
But I think PAX Unplugged is going to be a Kev and I thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Now, the thing about
Don't
PAX
be the
Unplugged...
teachers, I'll friend you with one.
Yeah, I think if you can give me some D20 and some Mimic wands, that would be fantastic. But PAX Unplugged is a tremendous amount of people. So, whereas in Fan Expo this past weekend, we had 50,000 people it was 50,000 people in one hall. And from my memory, what happened at PAX Unplugged like 5 years ago when we went and were like playing Quantum Quest with people, they had 3 halls open. I think it was D, E, and F. And it was tremendous. I want to say that there was probably closer to 100,000 people. And do you need help?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Rihanna's going to be quiet so that I can talk.
I'm sorry, I'm being smothered by a dog.
Yeah, but I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad podcast protocol.
Help!
You do need help? There we go.
Oh, God.
No, I just got bashed in the face with a dog.
Oh, she licked my glasses and I can't see anything.
Hello. I am. So here's a behind the scenes fact. I am not wearing a shirt, so this is very dangerous.
She's got stabby feet.
She does. She's got little dagger feet.
Hey, come in.
You gonna help her down?
Come in. She can help herself.
There we go. So yeah, PAX Unplugged probably going to be the last one of the year, and then next year we'd like to go to the gem convention as vendors if this upcoming weekend is good.
If it makes sense. I mean, I don't know what kind of stuff that is going to be there, but I know the crystals are going to be there, and I'm going to have so much fun and spend so much money I don't have.
It's true. And then I think we really have to figure out what's going on because we already have the tent and the topper.
For the Renaissance
For the
Fair.
Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
But the problem is the Renaissance Fair that we wanted to go to is expanding much quicker than we were hoping that they would because, and good for them, but a lot of times when you go to a Renaissance Fair as a vendor, they want you to commit to all, like, 4 weekends or 6 weekends.
Yeah.
Or, like, the Lancaster one is, like, 12 weekends, or if not
Right.
16 weekends, and we don't got time for that.
Right. I mean, the New Jersey one is more, it's local, which is nice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, that's such a, like, heavy lift when we already have, like, full-time jobs.
Right.
So
It's nice to go for a weekend to something like this. It's a lot of work even one weekend.
Right.
Because you know, like, every time you got to pack up and go home.
Right.
And the problem with doing it weekend after weekend after weekend is you can't leave your stuff there.
Right.
So you're still packing up and going and packing up and going. Yeah. So to try and do a Renaissance Fair is going to be really tricky.
It will be tricky. I mean, if we can commit to just, like, 1 or 2 weekends, I would be fine with it, but I don't know that we could do 6 of them.
Right.
But, I mean, the other thing we have to contend with is the all-weather situation. Like, we do have to be ready to pack up, considering, like, it could be, a torrential downpour. What are we going to do if we, can't get our inventory safely to the car without it getting soaked? So.
Right. There's a lot of logistical questions that we have to answer.
But we do have the tent for it if we ever are able to set that up.
Yep.
We're also going to try and look into, like, for the wands at least, like, local kind of art and craft shows. But
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel like your stuff would do well no matter what.
I think so. I want to do, like, a snooty area, like like a New Hope or like a
Peddler's Village.
Yeah, like a Peddler's Village. Like places where people are specifically hanging out to spend money on artsy stuff.
Ah, we got Jill saying, I know those people.
Yeah, the snooty people?
No.
Oh, those people. I was like, send us the snooty people.
We're having a very good day. I'm less sick than I was, and Rihanna I don't think ever got sick, so
No, I think I
a little
just
bit of
had
congestion
allergies.
and stuff like
That's
that,
all.
but
It's allergy time.
no.
But
So
we'll wrap up.
we're gonna wrap up.
You-
I apparently am getting the red light.
Yeah, it's happening. It's hot up here.
It's hot up
Does
here.
the man want his chalky milk?
You know what? No.
No?
But I will say yes because
It's tradition.
it's tradition.
Do you
But
wanna-
but no.
You want like an ice cream or something? Do we have, like, a
We have some sandwich bars and stuff like that. All right, so we are going to wrap up. Let's head to our closing the show page real quick. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest goodness out on the internet. So, Tellest.com is a great first place to go. After that, if you want to check out some of our premium offerings, you can go to patreon.com/Tellest to see. I think right now we have 91 or so battle maps that you can find on there, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays we do some kind of cool art post. We've got a lot more maps that are coming, and Matt is getting back into the swing of things. We've got some guest posts that are coming through as well. If you want, you can go to tellest.etsy.com to get some physical goods. We had those people calling me idiots at the or calling me an idiot at the convention because I wasn't selling the battle maps there, but we had such a good reaction to those maps that like the day after someone called me an idiot, I put 21 more maps on Etsy. And then I'm trying to commit to doing at least 3 more per week.
So if you want more Tellest content, insult this guy.
Right. Apparently that's the way to my heart. And then the other places that we can bring your attention to, youtube.com/@worldoftellest to see these videos after they're no longer on Twitch. But if you do want to talk to us live, you got to go to twitch.tv/thattellestguy. And then if you want to see some other cool stuff, you can go to tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands to find Rihanna's wands when she finishes them up and puts them together in a nice little vignette.
Yep, I just posted a squirrel wand.
Yep, and if you don't like that, you're nuts. And then if you want to see our other co-hosts, you can find them on tiktok.com/@tillsoftellest, and you can see just why Luna is as yappy as she is.
Oh, she's a nut.
Yeah, she's a nut. The squirrel would like her. But that's going to wrap us up for today. I want to thank everyone for joining in and saying hello. We crossed the 50 followers threshold, so we just need to get the 3 viewers per average watch or whatever it is over a month period. So I feel like we're getting close, and then we'll be able to do some really cool stuff on this channel. So to that I say again, thank you, and then I say,
we'll miss you.
we miss you.
We'll miss you.
We miss you.
1, 2, 3.
We miss you.